friends, it's me, Vivian from ThePaperLetterBlog, also known as the Chatty Penpal channel, and today I'm gonna chat you through this Happy Meal or Penpal meal project. Now, today's project is a little bit different because I'm not going to be making a flip book or anything out of paper. I am going to make things out of paper, I do have to clarify, but the base of this project is going to be a little bit different. And that is that I'm recycling or repurposing a little flat box. And then we're going to fill it with some cute little goodies. Now, the first thing I did is flatten that box. By the way, I couldn't tell you what was in it originally because I received it in a swap. This little box was used to hold wax seals. And I of course saved it because I wanted to repurpose that. So the first thing I'm going to do is flatten the box, then put glue on it, then use tweezers and a needle to get the hairs of the brush out of the glue again. It's not cat hairs this time, no, it's the glue brush was kind of dying, so it let loose all of those hairs. And the first thing we're going to do to decorate the box is decoupage, the first layer. Now, decoupage basically means that you take a pretty napkin and you glue that onto your project. You don't glue on the entire napkin, I made that mistake almost. But you glue on the top layer or any layer that you like. So a napkin is usually made out of 3 or 4 layers, so you carefully peel off the top layer that has the print and then you use that for your project. So for the first layer I decided to go with a pretty pink because the decoration, the butterfly decoration wasn't big enough to cover the entire box, or I didn't want to cover the entire box with that, so I decided to go with 2. And then of course you could, if you really tried, you could make the napkin super smooth, but I wasn't really trying because I wanted the box to be kind of textured, if that makes any sense. I kind of like the way it looks. It gives the box a whole new look in my opinion, and I flattened it first because that would make it easier to decoupage and decorate. And then this is of course the butterfly element. This is a beautiful butterfly napkin that I got from my friend Beck. I could have easily covered the whole box with that, but I did not want to use that much. I like it so much, I wanted to save it and only use a little bit. So I'm now shortening and constantly adjusting how big the napkin is because I want to have some sort of a balance between the pink and the butterflies. So that's what we're doing. But of course, if you don't want to do decoupage, you can paint your box, or you can put paper on top of it, or color on top of it, or fabric, or anything else you like. You don't even have to decorate the box if you don't want to. Oh, I would almost forget, but while we are gluing, let me tell you a little bit about why I made this project in the first place. Now, of course, I made it to be sent out to someone to be determined because it's still in my craft room. I haven't sent it out yet. So if you see this project in your mailbox in a few weeks from now, that means I finally finished something. But I made this, of course, to send out, but there's a good reason why I did the recycling part, the upcycling, because I have a Patreon page. I talk about that more often. Patreon is basically a subscription service where you can decide for how much you subscribe, and then there are certain benefits involved. One of those benefits for whichever tier you are in is that you get a monthly challenge to work with. I call this the Craft Club challenge because you're all in my craft club, and then we work with a challenge, and it's not meant to be a competition, it's not meant to be scary or intimidating, it's just basically a prompt for people to work with during the month. And for one of those months the prompt was recycle, upcycle, or repurpose, or use something that would normally be thrown out and make something new. What I did here really quickly is I die cut that envelope, and then I used a texture what is that called again? A texture folder? Embossing folder. It's called an embossing folder. And that embossing folder basically presses leaves into the paper. So it doesn't cut the leaves out. It just presses them into the paper so that you get some sort of a 3D effect. It's difficult to see now, but I'm gonna do some inking and then you can see it better. But basically, the goal was for people to do something or hopefully get inspired by the theme recycle, upcycle, repurpose, blah, blah, blah. And of course, I do these themes as a challenge, but I also do them because they're 9 out of 10 times they're something that I really, really enjoy or that I want to do or use more of. I, for example, did a challenge once with coloring book pages and magazine clip outs because those are two supplies that I love using but don't ever use enough of. I mean, I keep forgetting that I should use them. So that's also a big part of the challenge is for me to just either try something new or do more of something that I enjoy. So repurposing is something that is quite dear to my heart, is something that I find important, not only because it really inspires creativity, because once you start repurposing boxes and envelopes and stuff like that, the possibilities are endless. I can tell you that the first time I made a flip book out of a recycled packaging, a world opened up for me. I can never look at packaging the same. So it's very exciting for the creativity part, but it's also good for the environment. Now, of course, we are not going to rescue the world to save the environment simply by repurposing a box or repurposing an envelope or packaging. We're not going to save the world just by doing that, but the thought process helps. Once you start looking at packaging and stuff like that, you're much more aware of what we throw away, and I think that might actually be more important than actually recycling. And I'm not trying to be a know-it-all because, boy, I still produce a lot of waste. I won't say weight. I still produce a lot of waste, even though my boyfriend and I are kind of passionate about this. But I think that every little bit counts. Yep. So that's, I don't know, I got completely sidetracked here, but what we're doing in the background is making a little collage on top of an envelope. I will show it up close a little bit more soon. Don't worry about it. And then, of course, we're also going to fill those envelopes with some goodies for the future receiver. Now, I remember when I started making videos, I would often show you who would receive it. Like, I would start my video by showing you the mail from my pen pal and then making a reply for them. I realized that that was something a lot of people enjoyed because you got to see A, what I received, and B, what I made. I haven't done that in a long time, but that's partially because most of these videos are now for PR box replies, which is kind of crazy. So I cannot always show you the mail that I receive, and I already show all of the mail in the PR box opening videos. But it's also because I sometimes work, such as this mail, I just really enjoy crafting without worrying, and I say worrying, I will explain why I say worrying, about the receiver. Of course, I'm going to send this to someone who I think will like it. So I wouldn't send a pink project to someone who's more into vintage or something like that. So that's also why this project is still waiting. It's waiting for the perfect receiver. So what am I saying? This story is all over the place. Basically, it's fun to make something specifically for someone. Let's say my pen pal Emilia, I know she really likes pastel colors, so most of the times I would try and craft something that I know is going to be up her alley. What we're doing in the background is we're stamping some butterflies and bees onto some tracing paper, sewing tracing paper with waterproof ink. I will also link that down below. Archival ink, it works really well. But we're stamping that to turn into a little gift bag because I wanted the same aesthetic to run through the little goodies inside. But going back to my original story, I also really like crafting without thinking too much about what someone might or might not like. For example, if you're sometimes I'm crafting and I'm thinking more about, oh, will person X like this or that, or maybe she doesn't like butterflies, or maybe she prefers something else or something like that. You know, I will start thinking too much about the receiver and not enough about having fun and about crafting and about not worrying. And I'm not saying that I have needy pen pals or anything like that, not at all, but that's just on me. Like, I will overthink everything. And for example, with a project like this, I literally had a box, a white box, a blank slate. I knew that I was going to decoupage on top of the white box, but other than that, it was a blank slate. Like, I had no clue what I was going to make. I had no clue what I could include or not include, and that just is very freeing, and that for me, I think, helps my creativity. That may sound weird, right? But it's actually not weird, I think. Oh, a cat has just arrived. Which cat is it? Is it Noos? It is Sage, and she just left again. Okay, I'm happy to see you too. So the first thing we're doing is we're filling that envelope. I keep saying first thing, but we've already done a lot of things. The next thing we're doing is filling that envelope with all of these dreamy stickers. I'm also going to write on the envelope, I think, dreamy stickers or something similar, because they're to me quite dreamy. You have feathers, you have, what are those things called again? The things that you hang above your bed. Dream catchers, yes. Dream catchers and stuff like that, and all kind of magical, mystical, and I thought that would go nice in this envelope. And I also think it will be fun to unpack all this, because you open the envelope and you find the little box, you open the box, you find all these little envelopes, and then the little envelopes are filled with goodies. Then I am using my tiny glue bottle to glue together a die cut butterfly. I got these gorgeous butterfly dies in PO Box Mail, absolutely gorgeous. I've been using them so often, and here I made a bright pink butterfly on top of a craft paper background to decorate. Or did I use that to decorate, or did I use that as a goodie? I forgot. This is some Nuvo Dream Drops. I will also link those down below, because they're the supply that I use probably in every video, and that I also get a lot of questions about. Basically, Nuvo Drops are some sort of colored glue, and then the Dream Drops also have some sort of shimmer or glimmer or glitter to them. So very nice. What I'm doing with the ruler is I'm just making sure that the glue is not stuck inside, or I'm just making sure that the gift bag opens fully. And I'm going to be filling that with some vintage stamps. I thought, of course, we did like brand new stickers first, and now we're doing vintage stamps, which may seem like a weird combination, but I actually think that this project has a little bit of both. We have some pastel colors and we have some vintage elements. So I thought, why not go with that and just embrace it. That's a little a little box. I want to say bag and box, and then I said bat. A little box with some more supplies that I thought would work nicely with this project. So I'm just cutting off some stickers, I'm tearing off some tags, and I'm gonna put all of them into the little envelope, except not all of the tags actually fit, so I'm gonna be putting them in loose as well. And that little box, that's something I like to do, and it's definitely a good hint or trick or a beginner's tip or something if you are working on a project. And I work with a lot of different styles. This style of project is completely different from my next video, and especially from my previous video. So I work with different things, but what I really would recommend you do is make a little box fitting what is up with my speech today? Fitting a certain theme you have in mind. And like I said, I started this project without any idea what I was going to do, but I did know that I wanted it to be kind of dreamy and that sort of aesthetic. So I just grabbed all sorts of papers and stickers and things that I thought would go well with that. And as you saw, if you looked closely at the box, there are also a lot of things in there that I did not use at all. For example, there were some minty green papers in there, but I ended up going with a pinkish purplish theme instead, so that's okay as well. The only thing that I am terrible at is after the project cleaning up that box. So in just to paint a picture, I currently have, well, I would say 4, 5, maybe more, 5 different boxes. Oh, the more I look around, the more I see I have numerous boxes with different themes, going from vintage to fall to pastel, florally. Actually, looking around my room, I think I may have a problem. I need to train myself in actually cleaning them up. Could I hire someone to come clean up my craft room for me, please? It's getting out of hand. And you... Okay, sorry, that's just my computer making a sound. Now I'm lost my train of thought. I'm wrapping up this box with some pretty ribbon and then some, how would you call that? Like that, it's gold leafy ribbon. It's really pretty. I also use it for decorating some of the elements. I'm going to be using that to wrap up the box, and then that pretty twine and ribbon, and it's going to be sent like that. I think that I hope that I can send it out in 2020 still, but who knows, it might wait on my shelf a little bit longer. The last thing we're going to do in this video is show you one last look at everything that is inside the box up close in better lighting. This is during the day, so obviously that looks a lot better. I also painted my nails. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would be super grateful if you would give it a thumbs up. You know that helps me. YouTube likes videos that are interacted with a lot, so thumbs ups, thumbs downs even, and comments really help my channel grow. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you'd like to see more. I also, as mentioned, have a Patreon page. You can sign up for 1 month or 2, or you can choose, you can cancel anytime, and I would be forever grateful if you guys would check it out. I'm going to leave it here, but I will see you once again very, very soon. And I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you for watching. Bye!